I know it's freaking Wednesday, and here I am doing a live. Said I was going to try and do these things on Mondays. Just Monday got was nuts this week. It's just nuts. I am in. Well, I'm actually at a local farm that is nearby to my daughter's school, and I'm just grabbing some provisions for the house. My my wife and I are planning on doing a little bit of grilling out this Saturday. We got the backyard straightened out and everybody's happy with it, so we're doing a little bit of grilling, a little bit of chilling, maybe do some smash burgers. I'm going to make some jerk chicken just to have throughout the week. You guys aren't here for that though. What you're here for is this conversation about the Jigs and Bigs nationwide online bass tournament that's going on. It's a slot tournament to kind of level the playing field for everybody. And it's coming up on June the 29th. And registration has been open for quite some time. Now, a couple of things, all right? We have some anglers that are already registered, a handful of them. And the reason why I'm doing this is to try to get some more of you to join in. The tournament all goes down on the 29th of June. It's going to be a blast. If you're already a tournament angler, this is a great additional ticket that you should pick up, because if you're catching bass and measuring them for a CPR tournament anyway, even if you're in a bass boat tournament with a live well, and you have a catch board, you should be entering these fish in here as well. It's you got to think of this as like a catch 'em all style, where the goal is to catch as many fish within the slot limit as possible. Now, the slot limit. Let's talk about the slot limit, all right? Minimum size of fish is 12 inches. That's the minimum allowable entry, 12-inch fish. The maximum entry is 17 inches. The moment that fish crosses that 17 and a quarter mark, it will be DQ'd. You cannot enter a 19-inch fish as 17 inches. That's not the point. It's to catch as many fish within that slot limit as you can. Now, some people are going to say, oh, I live in Texas and all I ever catch are 21s. I'm proud of you, man. Go to a different lake. Go to where they're stunted. As long as you can find a public body of water and you're catching fish between that 12, the more fish the better it is. Now, a couple of things. The payout structure is not winner take all. Payout structure is traditional, the same way that we would do the what do you call it? The same way. Hey, and we're back twice. Imagine that. This tournament is basically by the demand of the Jigs and Bigs listening audience. Our participation for the multi-species scavenger hunt, there is a certain niche kind of group that loves that stuff. They like the diversity. They like to change things up. And we have had a massive voice from the audience say, hey, we would love to do a bass tournament. You guys should just do a bass tournament. Why not do a bass tournament? Let's do that online. So last year we did the Midsummer Mayhem tournament, which actually had a huge turnout. The problem was the majority of the anglers that had signed in were in and around the Northeast. And on that date, we had some really sketch weather. And it sucked, and you weren't able to really, I wasn't able to fish. There was a bunch of other folks. Like, I'm talking, in our area, we had tornado warnings and shit. It sucked. So what I did was I bumped it a little bit earlier in the summer. That's why it's in June and not in July. So it's a June catch 'em all style with a slot limit, because it's nationwide and it'll even the playing field for everybody. Registration is in the description of this video right here. It's also in a lot of the other videos that I posted. Like, I posted a video on the Memorial Day weekend send. There's a link in there, but just go ahead and check the link that's in the description right here, and you can register. It's a $30 entry fee. It's on the Fishing Chaos app. Yes, you'll need to use the Fishing Chaos app. Yes, you will need to have a smartphone in order to do this. You will need an approved measuring board. When I say an approved measuring board, what I'm saying is this. any of the boards that are released from the company Catch, those are the boards that we're accepting as approved measuring devices. Why is that? Well, because it gives everybody a level playing field, and Catch is the company who is pretty much becoming the standard for the online fishing tournament because of the rigidity of the boards and the level of difficulty folks have to cheat with these boards. That's what it's all about. So we know what board you're using. We're using the same boards. This way it's all even. We have no financial gain with Catch at all. None whatsoever. I do want to mention that if you go into the Catch 'em All, into the slot tournament registration, and you scroll down, there is a banner for Omnia in there, Omnia Fishing. And we do have a link that will send you right over there so that it'll make shopping for your catch board that much easier. We recommend for those looking for a catch board to pick up the Catch Carbonite boards, either the 26 or 32-inch models. Either of those boards will do the job sufficiently. They're low cost, they're extremely light to carry around, and trust me, it's the best bang for your buck. Plus, actually, there's a little bit of a bonus with those catch boards because of the yellow color and the markings on the board, and as well as the material of that board, it doesn't reflect light the way that some of those aluminum boards do. And while the aluminum boards are great, they're beautiful, you know, sometimes you get a little overhead sun and it can make it a little bit difficult to get an accurate measurement with some of those. The Catch Carbonite boards do not have that issue. The other thing that we got to talk about as far as the tournament goes, day of, who is allowed to fish? Well, here's the deal. The lower 48 states, the entire lower 48, from as far east as Maine to as far west as California, everybody in the country is able to fish. You just got to fish public water. Now, is this a kayak tournament or a big boat tournament or a bank tournament? It's all of it. You can fish whatever method you want as far as your vessel's concerned or where you're placed. We highly recommend that you plan ahead and think about where you're going to fish. Where you've caught fish in this slot, limit, where you've caught them the most. Go with your best history and go with that. Again, public bodies of water only. You can register. It's like I said, it's $30. We're gonna have an absolute blast with it. You guys are gonna love it. Trust me. Now, we are trying to do 2 of these. We're gonna do one in June. Like I said, we bumped it from July. Todd asked, can you lake hop? Yes or no? I gotta double check the rules because you do have to check in here. I don't believe you can lake hop. You do have to check in like a traditional tournament. Unlike the multi-species scavenger hunt, which is a month long, you have so much more time. You do have to check in, so I don't believe you're able to lake hop. So make that decision and go for it. Todd says, I'll be getting in. Just want to make sure my schedule is going to be clear. Oh, I hear that, dude. Believe me. I went ahead and registered. Even in the event that something pops up on my schedule and I can't fish, I want to have the ability. I want to not have to worry about it the day before. You get 8 hours to fish, and let's talk the time frame, okay? There is a window that we had at Jigs and Bigs come up with that we think works the best. We wanted to allow everybody to basically fish the daylight hours. So what we're doing is, I believe it's 8 to 4 on the East Coast, and it's 5 to 1 p.m. on the West Coast, Pacific time. So that's the idea. 8 a.m. Eastern, you can start fishing, and you can fish until 4 p.m. Now, it gives everybody 8 hours to fool around with. Does the East Coast not have that dawn bite, that first light bite? Yeah, they don't. But they also get to go further into the afternoon as well. So everybody's got that same 8-hour window. We've got Dave Urkey, the Wolf of Walmart. He just messaged and said that he was registered and ready to rock. He's actually going to be doing a Banks End. But again, he'll be able to be out there for 5 a.m. Everybody else is going to be out there, starting at, like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're in Central Time, That'll be it's a.m. It's a.m. 8 a.m. If you're Central Time, it'll be 7. You understand what I'm saying here. The whole plan with this is just make it as even for everybody in the country. You know, we didn't want to have folks in California having to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning in order to fish this thing. That would be crazy. We actually do have a pretty good size of the audience that is based in the West Coast. So we want to try to facilitate everybody as best as possible, and this is the best way to do it. $30 registration. You need your registered, or you need your approved measuring device. Like I said, that's not a big deal. And it's a good idea. I'm going to go off a little rabbit hole here, a little tangent. If you guys are catching fish, I said I was going to do a video about this, and I'm just going to mention it now, and I will do a video kind of to explain. If you're catching, I'm looking at a traffic light because I pulled up a little bit too far, like an absolute douche. But if you are measuring fish and you're trying to keep records, here's why I choose, and it's not just a kayak tournament thing or anything like that. Here's why I choose length over weight every time as the factor for quantifying the quality of fish that I'm catching. The first thing is that you might catch an amazing fish that comes in at 7, 8, 10 pounds. Beautiful. If you caught that fish and it was right around the spawn, that fish is the heaviest it's gonna be, okay? Catch that same fish in July and it's gonna be a whole other beast. It's not gonna be nearly as impressive. Skinny fish, what I'm getting at here is that fish fluctuate their weight throughout the year constantly. Is that a gauge of the quality of fish? No, it's really not. Now, the length of a fish, what it gets down to is that fish don't shrink. They grow lengthwise in a linear fashion. So as they are feeding up and aging, they're getting longer and longer, and they don't shrink back. So if you catch a 22, 23-inch fish, be proud of that no matter what month you caught it in, because that fish's weight, especially at that length, is going to fluctuate in a massive way. So that's why, for me, having a measuring board, period, is the best tool that you can have to accurately document the quality of the catches and keep really great records of what you have going on for your fishing journey, your adventure, whatever you want to call it. This way you get the most accurate stuff. You can say, oh yeah, I've caught, like today. All right, here's a good example. I'm so stoked. My pins for the Massachusetts State Catch and Release Program came in. I have one for a 23 3/4 inch brown trout, which I am very proud of, and another one for a 22-inch largemouth. The 22, I actually have two 22s for these pins. I happen to catch both of those 22s in the spring. If I caught one of them in the summer or early in the season before they started really feeding up, that weight would be a whole other animal. Especially those big females, because they're full of eggs. And my point is this, is that there is a benefit to utilizing a catch board and taking good records, and you should definitely go for it. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. So getting back to the tournament, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Go out there and be safe, catch them. That's the goal. Catch them all. You got to catch as many fish within that. And I'm talking about, like, I've seen similar tournaments before where folks have caught like 100 fish within this slot tournament. Half the battle is choosing the right body of water, going where you want to go. You're not looking for that big. You're looking to put them in the boat, measure them, and submit them immediately. It's going to be so good. I'm really looking forward to it. The Jigs and Bigs listening audience has spoken. They want this tournament to happen. They want to have this experience, the bass fishing experience. And if the turnout for this stuff starts to really take off, we will be doing more of these. There's going to be more of them. They might end up popping up once a month. They might end up happening more times than not. It's going to be very interesting. We've got another comment here. Which states are can you fish in? What state Basically, the entire country with the exception of Alaska and Hawaii. That's it. The entire lower 48. You can fish any of those states, wherever you are from, you can participate in this tournament, as long as you're in that lower 48. Does not include Canada. We're talking, this is the lower 48 only. Like I said, from as far east as the easternmost tip of Maine to the westernmost tip of California, you can fish the Jigs and Bigs the Jigs and Bigs online nationwide bass tournament, our slot series. It's all about that slot limit. It keeps it nice. And now a lot of folks have asked, why don't we increase the level or the number for the slot tournament so that larger fish can be entered in there? I mean, we absolutely could, but at the same time, we want the focus to be on catching as many fish as you can and keeping that slot limit relatively tight so that this way it's a little bit more even for everybody. And, we can just have ourselves a good time. We got some comments coming in. What about here? Where are you fishing? I am fishing in the state of Massachusetts. I'm not going out of state for this one. I've got a short list of lakes that are nearby me that I've been toying around. One of them was the spot I planned to go to next time or last year, and it didn't work out, but I have fished there before and it would have been the ideal spot. Are you in Tennessee? I am not in Tennessee. I am in Massachusetts. I'm a freaking Yankee. Yeah, I wish I was in Tennessee. To be honest with you, I absolutely wish I was in Tennessee. But yeah, everybody in the lower 48, feel free to register and sign up. And if you're interested, and I maybe haven't covered something that you need in here, as far as details, or a question hasn't come across that I haven't answered, click the link in the description. The rules are all posted right there. Everything you need to know is right in there. It's 3 pages worth of stuff. It's not a huge amount of stuff to know, but it's stuff you're going to want to know as far as the payout structure. It's going to talk about, proper measurement technique, things like that. We've got a restricted comment in there. That's interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, folks. I think that this tournament's going to be an absolute blast. I know that the Jigs and Bigs audience is looking in there, and I'm gonna tell you, it's coming up. We're in June right now, and I started registration super early. We have a handful of anglers that got on real early, and this is your opportunity to go ahead and make it happen. Get out there and catch them. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I think you guys are absolutely going to love this. It's going to be a blast. And then again, we're doing this again in September. What's the future hold for these online tournaments held by Jigs and Bigs? Well, the future, it could end up becoming its own separate series. I'd love to see that happen. I'd like to do more with tournaments, because the tournaments have been really a great way for the podcast and the listeners to engage with one another and actually fishing. How can I be successful on my YouTube? How can you be successful on YouTube? Oh man, brother, you are asking the wrong guy. I am not an expert when it comes to YouTube. I will tell you this though, and this is important. No matter what social media platform you are using, the one fundamental that will never change is if you engage, you will get engagement. So I would highly recommend that if you're on YouTube, you participate in the YouTube community. So the folks that you're subscribed to, the folks that are commenting, make sure to reply to those comments. Make sure to, give some kind of feedback, and be a part of the community, because that's what social media is. If you're not, putting the content out is only half the job. The other half of it is engaging with that audience. And that might mean, that you have to go and find other videos and other creators to, comment and put some engagement out in their direction. But that is one fundamental that regardless of the algorithm or anything else, that is never going to change. Engage in order to get engagement. You've got to be part of the community. Which is what kind of makes it a drag. A lot of people just think it's just putting out content. A lot of people can put out content and they won't necessarily see the full potential of what they're able to reach. So we're making another pit stop here. This is just how it goes. Do you catch catfish? I catch catfish usually accidentally. I don't really target them so much. I like catfish. They are a part of the multi-species scavenger hunt. You know, Hustle Gamble. I'm new, just found you, and I'm signing up from Florida. Yes, get it, Hustle. Get it. Trust me. I think you're gonna absolutely have a great time doing this. It's a fun tournament, and regardless if you fish recreationally and you don't really there's far more recreational anglers out there than there are tournament anglers. But regardless of like how you fish, where you fish, all that stuff, you're gonna give yourself some real like purpose, and you're just gonna have a blast with this. It's so much fun. We get out there all the time, and we're catching fish. We talk with other folks that are catching fish. Love that it's length and not weight. Oh yeah, absolutely, baby. Like I said, with length, fish don't shrink. They don't shrink. They lose weight, but they don't shrink as far as their length goes. So, that's how you're going to get the better, what do you call it? You're going to get the better, more accurate records, all that stuff that kind of goes together. So it's a good thing. We're going to have a blast. I'm here at the bank making a deposit. Yeah, and the other thing, the obvious one, when you're doing something that's like this large and you don't have a weigh station or anything, you can't legitimately do a tournament based on weight. There's just no real, actual way that that's going to work out. You're going to have to do this based on length. And the important thing is having that approved measuring board. Any of the catch boards will do, whether they be aluminum, whether they be a big game board, whether they be a larger, or the carbonite boards, the plastic ones. They're rigid as can be. They stand up to it. And I mean, they're not going to break the bank. I mean, I think you can get into a carbonite board for like about $30 or $35. Something like that, based on the size. Like I said, there we go. Bank transaction done. All right, let's roll out. Now I get to go home and actually make some breakfast, which would be great. But yeah, we're gonna have a good one, guys. It's the June slot tournament. This is an opportunity for everybody to go ahead and get in there and catch them. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that the weather is better than it was last year for us. I definitely want to participate. What do we got here? Oh, it's Mike Hansen. He says, Bobby, I assume you still can't see my posts on my other account. We got to go fishing soon. Yeah, we do, buddy. We do got to go fishing soon. This weekend actually was looking like it was going to be hot garbage, but I think it's going to be a little bit better. Looked like we were going to get, it looks like tomorrow we're supposed to get some thunderstorms that are going to come through, and that actually looks like it's going to dump a pretty good amount of rain. And then it looked earlier in the week like it was going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were going to get the chance of rain on any of those days. It seems like that's kind of squelched a little bit. Looks like tomorrow's going to be the worst of it, and I'm hoping that things kind of pass. But man, I'm telling you, the fishing around here has just been crazy. Joe and I have talked about it on the show, and this has just been the wildest year. Everything all up and down. Shit, I was out yesterday. I was catching some fish on beds. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? I got a new video coming soon. Just dropped one yesterday that was a little bit delayed. Had a little bit of a snafu with my editing software. We getting lightning this weekend. We're saying tomorrow locally here we're supposed to get some lightning. I don't know about the rest of the weekend. I'll be out there until I hear thunder. Till I hear thunder or they say there might be a tornado, then I'm out. That's about it. Then I'm out. A little bit of rain, especially this time of year when it's warm. I'll take a little bit of rain. It's no big for me. I remember last year I was at the launch of the spot I was going to fish, and I was stoked. I was so stoked. And I knew we were going to get some weather, and I actually showed up a little bit late because I wanted to see how things were on the, I think I was actually about 2 hours late. But I get to the ramp and I'm just about to launch. I think I had just checked in, put my identifier on my hand. I was ready to go. And as I get to, as I start, rigging the boat, my phone goes off with a tornado warning. And I'm like, okay, I'm not fooling around with this. Especially where I was, like up in the mountains like that. Shit pops up and it gets kind of crazy kind of fast. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. It's the June slot limit tournament. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, I'm going to be out unless the lightning hits. Then I'll be home wishing I was fishing. My day was windy as fuck last year. I remember that, Todd. You had some crazy shit going on, too. It was not necessarily great. And that's the beauty of it. We get all these anglers from all over the country, and you never know how it's going to play out until that day. And a lot of people would say, like, oh, well, it's a gamble, like, I don't know if it's worth it. Dude, you're entering a fishing tournament, which is gambling anyway. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You are. It's gambling anyway. Anybody could have the day of their life, and you have no idea why. It definitely helps to stack the deck in your favor by having some experience, but somebody could go out and just have a day, and it just smokes it. And there you go. You're gambling anyway. You might as well enter. And, that's, Joe had mentioned it on this week's show. He says, I think there might be some folks that are a little shell-shocked from last year when they entered the tournament, and they weren't able to fish because the weather was so crazy that maybe they're waiting until it gets a little bit closer. And I understand that, but that is a terrible idea. You should just enter. Let's see, what do we got? As soon as I get paid Friday, I'm signing up for the slot tourney. I love it. I love it, guys. All right, I'm going to go in. I'm going to handle my business and get some breakfast in order, and we will see you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this live. And like I said, in the description, registration link, go ahead, share this video with your friends also, if you think they might be interested. Remember, this is an individual tournament, no teams. Get everybody involved, send it out to your friends. The more the merrier. The better payouts, everything else. Todd, you have a good one. You know what's up. We'll see you.